Welcome. Today's video is going to be on the pretty fresh. Yeah, it's gonna be good. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Today's video is going to be on the Colourpop Pretty Fresh foundation. This foundation is marketed as a hydrating foundation with hyaluronic acid for all skin types. It is said to hydrate your skin with a skin perfecting medium buildable coverage for natural healthy looking skin. It says that you should prep your skin with the Pretty Fresh primer and to use the Pretty Fresh blending sponge to apply and blend your makeup. So let's see. This is the packaging. It's what it looks like. It is very simple packaging. I like the lettering on it. Nice and simple. I got the shade medium dark 135W, which would stand for warm. They did have, I think, neutral shades, and then they had the warm shades. So I got mine in warm, and I think I matched it pretty well to my skin. So this is actually a really good match for me. On the inside of the packaging, the actual product looks like this. It is a hard glass or plastic bottle. Looks like it's glass, but it's not. And it just says Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. It does come with a cap, plastic cap, nice and sturdy, and it is a pump, which is amazing and we all can appreciate. This is a 1 fluid ounce container, which is pretty standard and typical for foundations. If you are not familiar with my channel or just don't remember, my skin type is combination oily. It's more combination now than it is oily. Definitely starting to normalize and become more normal as I get older and as my acne clears up and is becoming a thing of the past. So I really only get a little bit of shine really nowadays on my nose, maybe a little bit on the forehead, and a very small amount on the chin. I'm gonna go ahead and get all close up and personal with you so you can see this foundation on my skin. I think it looks really pretty. I was able to see blush, the blush still on my face the first 2 days, and it's only been 3 hours, probably 3.5 hours at this point now since I've had it on. It looks really good. I feel like my the match is really good for me. My skin looks happy and hydrated, and I like the way it looks. I think it looks pretty. Can you guys, yeah, see that my forehead looks good right now. Everything's looking really good. Another thing that I didn't mention earlier is once time goes, it really starts to break up right here on my smile lines. So that's a thing if you have smile lines. But other than that, guys, I think this looks so pretty. So with this being a hydrating foundation, I think the best skin type that this is formulated for, it would be, of course, normal to dry skin. That's the skin type that would get the biggest benefit from something like this. I do think if you have oily skin, or if you have combination oily skin, you can definitely get away with this. I think you're gonna definitely wanna use something that is not oily underneath or is not going to promote and encourage your oils. You definitely wanna not use a dewy primer. Don't use a dewy moisturizer. Try to find something that is gonna kind of balance the skin out, if not mattify the skin underneath, since this is gonna be doing all of the hydrating work for you. With me using this foundation for 3 days now, each day I tried something different underneath. Day 1, I used my Drunk Elephant moisturizer, and I used the Tatcha face putty, or whatever it is, face primer, just right here where my pores are, right? Where they normally would be a little bit more enlarged for most people. And I did not love the results. I used a brush to apply the foundation that day, and then I went over it with my beauty blender. And I thought the foundation looked pretty, but it wore on my nose, and so I didn't like it. Day 2, I wore the foundation with, let me see, what was underneath it? But I did use my Hydra Veil from Illamasqua underneath it as my primer, I had a better day as far as wear. It didn't break down as bad. But what I did notice is that it did break up around my nose pretty bad that day. It just, well, I guess in all honesty and fairness rather, it did break up around my nose both days, just in different spots. So day one, I had the breakup on top of the nose. Day two, I had the breakup right here on the sides, like where your nose is, you know, where the cracks of your nose are. I wasn't playing with my face. I didn't have my hands on my face. I wasn't rubbing my nose. I didn't blow my nose. It just wore really unevenly there. I did also notice that it wore pretty unevenly on the right here under my top of my lips and right under my nose, which I thought was weird. And it did seem to attach itself to the dry spots on my chin. I use a tea tree oil based cleanser, and sometimes it can cause a little bit of extra dryness right here, and this foundation stuck right to it. It clung to it. I didn't like that. So I mean, like, I had to today, in order to prevent that, I had to put a very heavy moisturizer on my chin in order for it not to attach itself to those dry spots. So that's something to be aware of. If you have really dry skin, you're gonna wanna go in with a heavy moisturizer to kind of help balance out any dry spots you might have that this might be able to cling to. Today, when I applied the foundation, which was day 3, I decided to keep it really, really simple. And I just went ahead and used the Supergoop SPF. And I love that product. It was in one of my, I think it was in the my 2019 favorites video. It's just a great all around, can be used as a moisturizer, but it really is an SPF. So I use that as my moisturizer and SPF combo. And then for a primer, I use the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. That's what I did. The first one, not the mattifying one that they just released not too long ago. And I like the results a lot better. I didn't put it on my nose. I didn't put the Poreless Putty on my nose. I only put it right here and just a tad bit on my forehead. And that was it. And I like it a lot already. I like the way the foundation is wearing 10 times more than I did the first 2 days. I like it better today. So like I said, I've had this on for a few hours already. Let's see, I put it on at 10, 11, 12, 1. So I've had it on for 3 hours and 15 minutes. I will come back at the end of the day and show you guys how it wore. Okie dokie, guys. I'm back to finish this wear test. Check out how my skin is looking. But definitely looking dewy, extra dewy. Probably a little bit more dewy than I would go for. But it doesn't look bad. But it's definitely time for it to come off my face. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It definitely separated around my nose. And where my texture lies, it's not looking terrible, but it's not looking wonderful. But there is no real separation around my smile lines, which is good. And right here, it doesn't look as bad as it did yesterday and the day before. Nose has a little bit of oil coming through and shine. There's some creasing right between my eyebrows from frowning and such. Forehead doesn't look too bad at all. Just a little shiny, just natural shine. And so not bad all in all. Like I said, it's been a long day. I was out in the heat. I live in Texas. It was 100 degrees? 98 degrees today. Very, very warm, and the humidity is insane. It's hex. So I'm going to share my final thoughts with you guys on this foundation, give you some pros and some cons as far as I'm concerned. And like I said, I've worn it for 3 days. I would say I love the fact that it's medium buildable coverage. I feel like around the 3rd hour is when you really start to see the hydrating claim, when you actually start to see it come to fruition. As far as it like going on the skin and being dewy right away, I don't feel like that, or being hydrating right away. I don't think so. I think you have to know what you're doing in order for this to come across as an immediate hydrating, dewy, luminous type foundation. In Colourpop's defense, there is nothing on the packaging or within their marketing that I saw that does say the words luminous or dewy. So, but whenever the words hydrating or the word hydrating is used, I automatically assume hydrating with luminous and dewy. That's probably unfair. So in all fairness, just based on how this is marketed, I think it's a great foundation. I like it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.